Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and it's good to see you in the chair. Tonight I'm going to actually have one positive and lots of things that are just terrifying. So let's have some fun with some math. Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, we often start with this board just because it helps everyone sort of visualize what we're talking about. And we're going to fixate. A couple weeks ago, I actually beat up on some of the Republican ideas in regards to where the debt was coming from. Tonight I'm going to beat up on some of my brothers and sisters on the left on tax proposals and how little they actually do. But first, let's get an understanding of how bad, how difficult, how terrifying. If you are not terrified right now on what's going on with U.S. debt, you don't own a calculator. So look, this I've used this board for years. It's actually the 22 board, but the concept is real simple. You see this blue, you see the green, that's all we vote on. This wedge right here, that's all we get to vote on. That's what we call discretionary. The red is mandatory. That's Medicare, that's Medicaid, that's Social Security. Those are the things that are on a formula. You get those because you worked a certain number of quarters. You get those because you turned a certain age. You're part of a certain tribal group, or you fall below a certain income. These are formula driven. This wedge over here, defense and non-defense discretionary, when we were here a couple weeks ago, our math said every dime of that discretionary, defense included, was going to be on borrowed money this year. The Supreme Court made its ruling in regards to student loan debt. That backs off $200–300 billion of spending this year. We're having to redo the interest calculations, because if you've all watched what happened in interest over the last 10 days, and then there's the discussion of what we call paying back the extraordinary measures. When we were having the battle over the debt ceiling, one of the ways they kept the government running is they borrowed from all sorts of trust funds. Well, now they have to sell lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of debt. That's actually how you saw the thing where we borrowed $1 trillion in like a week. That was actually selling bonds to functionally pay back those extraordinary measures. And I'm going to show some charts on that. But those bonds are now at the much higher interest rates. Haven't had the time to actually do those calculations. So the good news I'm going to show on a chart is we may not borrow $1.8 trillion this year. It could be 1.5, 1.6. I'm a little more dour. I think it's going to be closer to 1.7, but we haven't done all that. But the point of the matter is, give or take a couple $100 billion, all discretionary is pretty much borrowed this year. Think about that. So if you're part of the brain trust that walks in, this is me beating up on myself and some of my friends, you walk in and say, we can.
It is happening, friends. Experts say the United States economy is finally recovering and millions of Americans will begin to see some relief. Residents in select U.S. states are being urged to take action and claim new rebate checks. These checks are set to arrive soon for many people. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the giveaways. According to economists, the U.S. economy is doing really, really well. If your immediate reaction was to shake your head, you are not alone. Millions of Americans are feeling bad about the economy, and some of that is likely due to inflation eating away at their budgets. But even so, Yahoo News reported that the labor market and recovery from the crisis are pretty much unprecedented. This is especially when compared to the lagging comeback from the Great Recession. After the 2008 financial crisis, it took more than 6 years for the economy to gain back all the jobs lost in that crash, but it only took a little over 2 years for the U.S. to return to pre-crisis employment after the much deeper hole the crisis punched in the economy in 2020. The U.S. labor market is still booming. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. economy added 209,000 jobs in June. That is a tad less than a month prior, but still on par with most monthly gains from earlier this year. The low unemployment rate declined to 3.6% in June, after edging up a little in May. Aaron Terrazas, the chief economist at Glassdoor, told Insider News, "The jobs market remains incredibly tight by any historic metric." Acting Secretary of Labor Julie Su told Insider News that it was a very, very strong jobs report that indicates that we are moving to a place of steady and stable growth, which is a key to a strong and resilient economy. The high inflation of the past year is likely souring some Americans regarding the economy, but that's been steadily falling, hopefully clearing the way for Americans to feel more optimistic and not as cash-strapped. Yahoo News said, Americans have grown so accustomed to wild economic swings that an ease into a new normal feels rocky. This is especially coming off a historically fast recovery, fueled by some of the most aggressive government financial support the U.S. has ever seen. According to results from a Pew Research Center survey conducted earlier this year, around half of U.S. adults rated economic conditions as only fair. Over a third rated conditions as poor. Americans' feelings about the economy historically have been tied to hard data like unemployment, inflation, and stock prices. Now, several states are encouraging their residents to take action and claim their state rebate checks. The Minnesota Department of Revenue has launched an online portal for taxpayers who need to update their address or bank information in order to receive a rebate check this fall. An estimated 2.4 million residents of Minnesota are set to receive a one-time payment of at least $260 as part of the recently passed state budget. All eligible married couples will receive $520, with an additional $260 available for up to 3 dependents. The most that a family can receive from this program is about $1,300. Income caps mean the payments go to individuals whose adjusted gross income on their 2021 tax return was $75,000 or less, and married couples who made $150,000 or less. Minnesota residents do not need to apply for the payments, which were pitched as a way to deliver some of the state's surplus back to taxpayers. The Department of Revenue will determine eligibility based on 2021 tax returns and send the rebate to the bank or address used at that time. But for anyone who has moved or changed banks since 2021 filings, you should update your banking information via the new portal by July 28th. The department says the payments will be issued in early fall. Also, Montana income taxpayers may notice extra money in their bank accounts or a rebate check in the mail next month. This month, the Montana Department of Revenue is issuing rebates of 2021 individual income taxes to over 530,000 qualifying Montana taxpayers. The department anticipates distributing most rebates by August 31st. But best of all, taxpayers do not need to apply for this rebate. Well, my beautiful and most awesome friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video. My friends, to say thank you and for being part of this community, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Tuesday.